Great. Let's call the meeting to order, and I'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get started, I'd just like to thank Rex for his time on the board and everything you did for being chair. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I just welcomed him to the hot seat.
And I suppose I should thank the commission for putting me here. So, thank you.
We're not.
Yeah. Let's move on to the agenda items. Approval of the minutes. Does anybody have any comments on the minutes, or would like
Make a motion to approve?
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Anybody opposed? Okay, great. Any disclosure of conflicts of interest? Okay, good. And we have a public comment section. If anybody in the public would like to speak, you have 3 minutes. Please state your name for the record.
Good afternoon. My name is Ellen Aslin. I happen to be on the NAC board. In the last BOC meeting, BOCC, on the 16th, Sarah Hurd came up with the announcement that we should get rid of the CRA. She had done that once before, back in 2012. I've been with the CRA NAC that long, so I remember what happened. When they finally got back together in 16, we had lost a lot of grants. They just all had to go away, so it was not very healthy for us, per se. And from then on, we don't see her at meetings. She doesn't seem to do anything about helping Salerno get somewhere, even during the hurricane tornado, she wasn't around. Whereas we had commissioners from other districts that were down there rolling up their sleeves. And it's just a very sad state of affairs. And I really think that going to do away with the CRA and having commissioners take over again, as she's suggesting, is not going to be beneficial at all to our area. I thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Priest?
Thank you. Julie Priest from Rio, CRA committee and staff. Just to add on to what Ellen said, I suggest, Chairman Krebs, that you might hold a meeting with Commissioner Hurd to find out what her reservations are, and maybe we can make some improvements, and therefore it might satisfy her, and we may not have to have this discussion. She said it was going to be in a month from that BOCC meeting that she would bring it up. Maybe we can avoid that. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. We'll see what we can do. I believe we're all on the board here, agree. Any other members of the public? Yes, sir.
Gary Earler, Port Salerno. First of all, I want to thank everyone for being here today. I know you've all taken time out of your busy schedules, and whether we agree or disagree, I thank everyone for being here. In the name of transparency, I'm going to be another one that I don't understand why she wants to get rid of the CRA, other than the fact she has ulterior motives. I don't want to single out any commissioner. I guess it'll come to a vote. But thanks again for all your hard work. I know each one of you are embedded in your communities. I've attended plenty NAC meetings and see it. I've been to plenty of these in the last year, year and a half. And just thank you again for all you do. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Anyone else? Okay, great. Going to presentations?
I have a few comments.
Okay, great.
I would like to welcome back all of our appointees who got reappointed, I should say. Welcome to Chuck Smith. He's our new member at large from Palm City. So that'll be up to all of you to kind of break him in a little bit. So, Mike, I'm sure you've already started that process.
I was very polite right off the bat.
There you go. We welcome Bert Krebs as our new chair for 2025, Mike Redling as our vice chair for 2025, and thanks, Rex, for your year of service. Okay.
Wonderful. We'll move on to presentations now. The CRA fiscal year 2025 first quarter report.
I'll get it ready. Who's got it up here?
You can minimize it. It's at the bottom. It's already open.
Why is it doing that?
No. Wrong one.
Okay, it's not at the bottom.
Okay.
It's right here, Q1, right?
Well, it's also down there. There's to the left. There's two.
Double click it again? I don't think you double clicked it.
It's that one right there.
I'm going to have to figure that out. Okay.
Good afternoon, Joy Puerta. I'm the program manager. Actually, I'm over the Port Salerno and the Golden Gate NACs. Today, I'm going to go over the first quarterly report for 2025, and it covers the areas between October through December of last year. In the Golden Gate area, we had the groundbreaking for the El Camino. We had additional connections to septic to sewer, and we provided a complete streets vision plan for Golden Gate. This was at the El Camino groundbreaking. It was an interactive map where you could use your phone and use the QR code, and it would take you to the different components along the trail, including the community garden, the picnic tables, the soccer fields, and there were some mounds out there. Also, this is a photo of all the commissioners, CRA members, CRA staff, and NAC members. It was very nice for everyone to come out. Septic to sewer, we are at 68% right now. Total parcels connected are 524. This was the vision concept that we presented at the NAC meeting back in, I think it was November. It was a conceptual plan to incorporate pretty much complete streets in all of the streets out there within the Golden Gate CRA. Includes new curbing, on-street parking, lights, trees, traffic calming measures, one new road, new pathway, which is, of course, the El Camino. There's also another pathway on that plan as well. New traffic circles and gateway features, and new parking. Overall, the NAC was in favor of us moving forward with a conceptual plan for grant purposes, with the exception they wanted to have some improvements added to the two, the very north street and the very south street within the Golden Gate. So we did incorporate those two roads. In Hope Sound, let's see. We had the new Sound Brewing was completed, and they're looking for employees. Another Hope Sound mural was added to the Hope Sound Community Church at Souls Park. And on Bridge Road, the Christmas parade was held on December 7th, and another CRA investment program was completed. Here is the advertisement from the completed Sound Brewing, looking for employees. On the right is a picture of the dedication of the mural number 28, which was held Saturday, November 16th, On the left, at the same time, they hosted the second annual Arts and Craft Fair in their courtyard. This is a picture of the Christmas parade that was held on December 7th along Bridge Road. As you can see, there was a large turnout. Here are pictures from the last investment program in Hope Sound. This was at the Hope Sound Beach Club, or Beach Shop, I'm sorry. In Jensen Beach, the Jensen Beach Boulevard resurfacing was finally completed, and light pole decorations were installed along Jensen Beach and Rico Terrace. Here are the before and after pictures of the resurfacing project on Jensen Beach Boulevard. Here are the snowflakes that were put on the light poles along Bridge Road, or I'm sorry, along Jensen Beach Boulevard. Which now brings us to Port Salerno. The Cove Road sidewalks were finally completed. Plans were received and reviewed for the new Monrovia Park, and the Dixie Highway banners were installed. So here are before and after, oh, not before and after. Here are the completed pictures, eastbound at Grouper, westbound at Flounder, eastbound at Flounder here, and then westbound at Ebb Tide. Here's the new Monrovia Park concept plans that were presented at 60%. The plans include leveling of the west field, replacing the basketball courts with a wider six-hoop court, providing shade structures, and providing accessible routes throughout the park. This was the conceptual plan, but it's at 60% now, leading to 100%. And here are the replacement banners that were put along Dixie Highway. Old Palm City, we pursued a proposal through CapTech, one of our consultants, for the Cornell Avenue Streetscape project. The Ripple Stormwater Eco Art Project received the 2024 Honorary Special Recognition Award by Martin Arts, and a request for proposal was drafted for the Palm City property. Here's the concept plans for the Cornell streetscape. The existing photos on the left. This is just a concept view and what we would like to see. Here are pictures of the Ripple project and a picture taken at the 2024 Honorary Special Recognition Award by Martin's Arts. As you can see, it's a really nice crew. Rio, we pursued a proposal from Marlin, one of our consultants, for the Dixie Highway Streetscape project. We secured a contract for the infill sewer. We identified new locations for benches and bike racks. And we pursued a proposal from Marlin for the Town Center Civic Club properties. Here's the Dixie Highway Streetscape project. It's going to include complete streets to provide safe access to users of all ages. Here are the new locations for benches and bike racks as collaborated with the Rio Civic Club. The Town Center project, we're working on the design proposal for this project, as I indicated previously. And overall, CRA-wide, a letter of support was submitted to the USDOT for support for the Martin County Intercity Passenger Rail Grant application. We recommended approval, or you guys recommended approval for the architectural design standards presented on October 28th. 2 completed and 1 applications occurred with the investment program. Staff attended the Florida Redevelopment Association conference. We also recommended the construction management delivery through the CMAR. Construction Management Risk is what that stands for. And staff participated in the United Way Holiday Project. Going into permits, we compare permits with the last quarter. And we always compare it with the same quarter, so this is the first quarter again in 2024 and again in the 2025. In residential permits, these graphs show the permits totally generally look the same as far as distribution into the CRAs for the residential permit numbers. As far as the residential valuation, Rio had an increase for this period due to 2 new single-family homes and multiple home improvements, as denoted by the green piece of the pie. And Golden Gate had an increase in this period due to 3 new single-family homes and 1 accessory dwelling unit, as denoted in the dark blue piece of pie. Again, the commercial permits number are about the same proportionately. In the valuation, I know to give you an example, there were 2 increases in the Port Salerno area, one being the mooring field facility is under construction, and the renovation for the 2 Georges is under construction right now. That's all I have. If you have any questions, I'd like to answer them.
Go ahead.
It would just be a suggestion. On the graphs here, if we could pick a different color between the blues, that's hard to determine,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Between those. But thank you for all the details. We're rocking and rolling.
Any other comments? I just want to say thanks, Joy, and that I think all the projects you described really enhance the quality of life of everybody in those areas, and I think that's a big part of what we do. It's good to see it coming through. We'll move on to CRA Capital Project Review.
Good afternoon. Susan Corres, Office of Community Development. As always, we're going to talk a little bit about our capital projects in each of our CRA areas. Those that have some changes or are not status quo, I will point out what's different, et cetera, but as always, take questions about any of them that you may have. So we're going to start with Dixie Highway Stormwater and Streetscape. We did receive permission from the Board of County Commissioners on January 14th to use the CMAR process for that project. So we're going to move ahead with that. You'll be hearing more about it. Just wanted also to mention that we did go to as part of this project, the Hobe Sound train station, historic train station, was put in place yesterday, early in the morning. And it was really quite something to see. There'll be stuff on social media. I know we'll put out something as well. Lots of videos were taken. The thing moves by remote control. It was amazing. And it really felt great because it's really the beginning, the kickoff of that project. So it was nice to have that happen after years of trying to get it there. Not so much by my effort, but I should say Hobe Sound folks and Commissioner Jenkins. We're also going to talk a little bit specifically about Port Salerno Park Drive improvements. We did receive the bid responses back. Again, not us, Public Works. Ferrera Construction was the lowest responsible and responsive bidder, so they will be starting out the project. But we have other information to share about that. I know, Jamie, you've been asking about the coordination between all of the things that are happening there. So just to refresh you really quick, the different things there are 3 things really happening on the peninsula right now. We have a building project, which is the mooring field facility, a drainage project, and a roadway resurfacing project. So it's really those 3 things that are all happening kind of at the same time, not exactly, but close enough. So in many industries, and I'm sure some of you already know this, you have contractors that have their area of specialty. Some do vertical, some do underground, some do utilities, some do paving, et cetera, roadways. So the project is going to be done in 2 phases. And remember, this is a project not just on Park Drive, but throughout the peninsula area. And the 2-phased approach really allows more coordination between our contractors so that we get the best results for the best price. So we're going to use the folks that are really good at paving to do that, and the folks that are really good at drainage and underground stuff to do that. So that's where the two phases kind of comes in. The first phase is going to be utilities and drainage, because that makes sense. Bet you didn't guess that, huh? This is also going to include, specifically for our piece of the project, it will include the swale on Seaward that we're going to fix up, and the cement pads for the dock authority on Park Drive. And that will be done by Ferrera. The second phase is the road resurfacing. So that's going to include Park Drive, George's Way, and the new configuration for the turning on from Seaward onto Dixie. We will get the exact price for that. We do have the exact price for the first one because we got that bid back. That's $240,485.80. So that will be our first phase. And then we don't know exactly what the second will be. It will probably be somewhere around the same price. The total estimate that we had, if you guys recall, was $444,000 and change. So that, again, is an estimate. So I don't expect the total to be much more than that, if anything. So that's what we'll be doing. It's going to happen in 3 to 5 months. So utilities is going to start fairly quickly. We have to get the contract signed, or Public Works has to get the contract signed with the board. And then that project will begin. And then as soon as they are winding down, the bid for the paving will go out. So there'll probably be about 3 months difference between the ending of one and the beginning of the other. So I think that's a lot of information, kind of fills in the blanks for coordination and all of those things and how the project is going to get done. Any questions? Seriously? Did I do that good a job? You don't have a question for me? You're fabulous.
The sewer was part of, the underground work, so.
Yes, yes.
So I figured it out.
All right. Moving on, I think everything else is pretty much status quo. So if there are any other questions on any of the projects that you see, we are happy to try to answer them to the best of our ability. I think that's,
Go ahead.
there's a few more.
You go ahead, Sadia.
When is the communals going to start?
So we're just waiting on DEP to give us the notice to proceed. We're all growing old waiting for them, Sadia, but it should be we're hoping it's going to be about another week,
How long we been waiting?
2 weeks.
1999?
Yeah, I would say, yeah. So it's really come along quite quickly.
Join us with the sewer.
Right.
I think Jamie, you had a question?
So the only thing that I wanted to recommend is if we could put in for Port Salerno, just an item line for the septic to sewer, just the pending,
In the capital projects? It's not really our capital project, though. So we talk about our projects kind of here.
Okay. But
I mean, we're not
we'll be
doing any of the
funding-
construction of it.
Right, but we'll be funding it and whatnot. We could just.
We will be
keep
funding
people
piece of it,
informed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cindy, you had a question?
Yeah, I have a question. So
Yes.
at our last NAC, we are desperately trying to revive the Church Street parking. So is that going to be put back on the capital improvement sheets if we can pull that forward?
Yes.
Okay.
We'd love to see it back on the sheet.
Very much so.
Anybody else? All right. Roll on to new business. CRA Golden Gate Neighborhood Improvements Vision Concept.
Why is it up there if it doesn't work? Okay.
I'm back again.
It's as if she never left.
Well, in my quarterly report, I mentioned this study, so I want to talk about it, kind of give you an idea about what the vision concept is in the Golden Gate. I know it's a small map, but like I had mentioned, it's like a complete street project throughout the entire neighborhood to kind of revitalize it. It's including new sidewalks, curbing, on-street parking, again, trees, lights, traffic calming measures, new traffic circles, gateways, and new parking. So this is what was presented. They were excited about it. They really want to see this happen over the next,
15.
I was going to say 10, but you know, it takes money. So what I'm pursuing right now is to get a concept drawing done by a consultant that would be able to write a grant application for, it's called the RAISE grant. The RAISE grant, in case you have never heard about it, it used to be called the BUILD grant before and then the TIGER grant. And I know these are all acronyms, so if you haven't heard about any of them, the RAISE grant is called Rebuilding American Infrastructure and Sustainability and Equality. This is a perfect project for it, but it's a very competitive bid process. They submit bids once a year, January, February, you know, and the least amount of grant that you can apply for is $5 million, and the largest is $25 million. So we're talking about big bucks. And usually it's an 80% match, a 20% match. But in this case, there are some areas that qualify that would reduce that match. And Golden Gate fits into the area of persistent poverty and historically disadvantaged communities. And when you're in that category, they pay up to 100% of federal funding. So I feel like this is an opportunity to have one of our consultants work on this and do all of the concept drawings and miscellaneous paperwork that's needed to fill out the grant to hopefully get it submitted by next year in 2026. Because this grant it's funded by the Infrastructure Investment and Job Act, and it provides $1.5 billion annually between 2022 and 2026. So this will still be available by next January. Not sure if it's going to be existing in 2027 or 2028 because I don't know what's going to be happening with the type of financing that's been available for the last several years. So I'm actually looking for an approval to be able to move forward with this project within Golden Gate and get a consultant on board to fill out the grant application.
Just another thought on that. It does cost money to hire consultants to do things. In this case, I would say the money is really well spent because of what we may get. But also, if we didn't get that grant, we would have something to go out and shop for other grants. So it's not like this would be an effort where you just do it. We're hoping we'll just do it once and get everything. But in case that did not happen, we would be able to use that and still move forward with the whole thing again or smaller pieces of it. So it really, it's a great use of the money in that sense. So it's in other words, would not be a waste if we didn't get raise. But I think Joy will get raise.
How much you going to go for? The top or the bottom?
Much as it costs. And that won't be determined until a consultant comes on board and does the analysis and concept drawings. And, you know, they have a per mile charge or price that they can come up with. Have no clue. I mean, I would just be guessing. It's definitely going to be millions.
25 million.
Is the sidewalks going to be on both sides or just one side?
That will be determined when they start doing studies, Sadia, and look at how much right-of-way we have. Do we need all two-way streets? All of that kind of stuff will go into that analysis. So that will take, we'd be lucky to get it done in a year, tell you the truth.
And again, all of these improvements that are shown on this map are in the plan for Golden Gate.
I know.
And again, if we didn't use it for everything, we can do it in smaller bites. There's always the possibility of that as well.
You mean as far as the study?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it's done, I'd like to have a copy so I can send it to the Attorney General. They have a lot of money for safety and stuff.
Well, you'll all be seeing a lot of it once, we get it going. We're going to have to shop it as well to the public, so.
And this grant covers everything above ground that's listed.
Yeah, we're eligible because the project type for this particular one is a surface transportation infrastructure projects, public roads and non-motorized projects. So because of all the complete streets, sidewalks, it's,
And the sewer's
all
already
of it.
done, so that's good.
right, all the infrastructure underground is already
Resurfacing is
done.
done.
Yeah, so that's good.
Can it include like lighting, landscape?
Yes,
This is my biggest, hope, is that the lighting is getting really low. And that's when I volunteered at the beginning, we didn't have lighting a lot. That's why we had groups selling their own garbage and stuff. When we did certain lighting, just things we used to couldn't get out of the house after it getting dark, because you don't know who you're going to meet, because it's dark. Now it's easy.
Yeah, that.
We really,
better.
it's not all of it, but we need more.
Yep.
Well, thank you.
And I'm assuming that the community was really excited to hear about this.
definitely.
All you have to do, look in our book, and you see, whatever you see here is in the book already.
Yes.
It's in vision. We came a long way, thank God.
So move approval for the move ahead with the grant then.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Great.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Looks like a great project. We're back to the public comment section. Any members of the public wish to speak? Okay,
I had a few updates as well.
okay. Staff has some comments. Any committee members have any comments?
I just had a question, because, I mean, learning about this new grant and everything, we have our pending project in Port Salerno, too, for the sidewalks and the lighting and all that. That may be something we could look into, too. Exciting. Thank you. Okay.
Susan?
Yeah, just had a couple of things. One is that our architectural design standards go tomorrow to the Board of County Commissioners. So again, we invite you to come and speak glowingly about that if you can make it. We should be someplace, we're the first ones out of the gate. So we're the very first public hearing, which is nice because then you kind of know it. It should be somewhere between 9:30 and 10 o'clock, something like that. If not, I did provide information for you to send emails. So if you can get a moment to do that, thank you, Jamie, I did get yours. That would be fantastic. I would like to talk just a minute about something that our public came up and talked about, which is having the Board of County Commissioners take over as the CRA board. It was a good idea that Julie had about meeting with Commissioner Hurd, and I definitely plan to do that, and if anybody here would like to do the same, please let me know. I would recommend that perhaps we send a letter to the commissioners, which we can draft for your chair's signature, and that if any of you would like to speak with any commissioners about that, that would be a great idea. You know, if any of you want to do that, that would be a good idea. So we're just going to kind of navigate it that way. Commissioner Hurd brought it up for everybody to think about, and we'll bring it up again in another month for other commissioners to weigh in and let everybody know what they think. So it's probably the right time for us to be talking with them and letting them know all of the things that we do here and the responsibilities that you guys have taken on. So that's really all the information I have about that at this point, and I just wanted to share that with you. We'll bring back a letter at the next meeting, a draft at the next meeting. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I know how you feel after you get fired. I was here.
Yeah, I've been fired before.
We hope it's not going to come to that.
No.
Nah, well,
Go ahead, Rex.
Just like to say that if you look at each of these areas and how much improvement and how many people are moving into the area, businesses moving in, I don't know why they would question what we've done in the past.
Yeah, we'll find out what the disconnect maybe is and work to improve that.
There's only one commissioner who's causing all this stuff, so she never voted for anything for CRA, so why are you guys surprised,
He is
you
a
know?
commissioner, so.
Yeah. It's a waste.
I mean, especially when, they're not always able to make the meetings, Your NAC meetings, we're at every one of them. So it's advantageous to get the input from the community, and that's where we're able to deliver that input.
We are called the Community Redevelopment Agency, I think probably for a reason.
And there are 5 communities, big areas that are impacted and improved, in my opinion, improved greatly.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody would agree it increases the level of transparency and information that gets out to the public and to the community and gives folks a place to come and let us know what they think and what they want, so.
And I'm not a commissioner, but I take it seriously. I like to listen to the community because we're the ones who live there. There's many who live in the communities that we live in. You want to be able to get input from everyone, whether you like it or not.
Commissioners don't have the time to come and look around and talk to the neighbors or the people who live there. We brought a lot of money back to the county, in case you didn't know. Our duplexes used to be, you're lucky if you get one, more than 60,000. Now go touch it, 400 and top. One just got sold for 520.
Yeah.
So if that's not a good tax base, and come into Golden Gate community, 80% are not homesteaded, only 20% homesteaded. So we give this county lots of tax money. Plus, all the businesses we have on Dixie Highway, it's packed. I don't understand why, if he's not broke, why trying to fix what?
Safer streets, sidewalks, lots of places. People will be able to move in a much,
Email, call.
and you'll get a letter.
Well,
Yes, Rex?
One other comment, if it wasn't for the staff, you all doing all the groundwork for us, it wouldn't get done, and if you're not here, that's never going to happen. So,
You're here.
That's very obvious.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, thank you. I don't want to hasten my retirement, believe me.
Well, this is where I feel bad because we have such a wonderful staff, hardworking people, and they're going to be without a job, and I think that's sick.
Well, it wasn't a comment to get rid of the CRA. It was to take away the CRA board and have the county commissioners sit as the board. And there are many communities that work that way. There are different configurations that you can do this. I think ours is fantastic just because we do get another level of responsibility and information and transparency and people looking at things in a place for the public to come. So, I don't know that Commissioner Hurd wasn't talking about getting rid of the CRA per se, but
Well,
yeah, it would probably hinder our,
okay, what do you prefer? To have 2 hours to 3 hours with the volunteers, they don't cost anything to anybody? Or do you have
you guys.
5 commissioners that, if you're lucky, they spend 15 minutes on it? So think about it.
Well, so we'll see. Again, I would encourage you to make your voices heard. I'd like to move on, if there's no other comments on that.
I do have one comment.
Okay.
Commissioner Campy is really on top of Palm City. I don't know if you guys, if you're commissioners.
So is Stacy, she's driving me crazy though, so she call me all the time.
Okay, this is recorded.
He's really.
But she's paying
Just a
it.
reminder.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Oh, my God, she,
I just wanted to talk a little bit about the RFP that's going out for Palm City. That's also on the board's agenda tomorrow. Just to give you some information, your previous chair is also the chair of the Palm City NAC and was interested in having a quick conversation about that. So that goes to the board tomorrow for their approval for us to send it out. And that is an RFP to sell and redevelop the property that was purchased last year. What I can tell you about it, and I'm happy to answer any questions if you'd like, is that it will go out for a minimum bid of $3 million. If you bid less than that, or you come in with a proposal less than that, I should say, they will disqualify it. If you come in with a proposal more than that, you will get points. So there's criteria that you follow. There's a selection committee that is going over all of the proposals, and then those things will come back to the board. There's been a few things that have been changed so that the actual development is not the same as what came before, that the community did not care for. So we have made some changes to that, and those, that new criteria, design criteria, will go out in our RFP. And hopefully that, once it is approved tomorrow, if that's what happens, then it will probably just be a couple of weeks and it'll hit the streets, and then we can't talk about it anymore. So if you have a question, seize the day, as they say.
I can't remember, how much was the original purchase?
The original purchase was about 4 million. And part of what will happen is there's a piece of that, it's a little over 6 acres total. It'll be really a little over 4 acres that's actually developable. And then the other part of it, Public Works is purchasing for stormwater improvement on Danforth Creek. So that's what makes up the other part of the money. So with the 3 million, we kind of become whole again. Yeah.
Is there a zoning change in mind, or has it been rezoned?
So it has not been rezoned. What we can do is we can make things a little bit stricter in an RFP. You can't give any rights. This is a legal thing with zoning. So I've learned a little bit as well. So for example, the setback is going to be a little bit more than that zoning code allows, which is corridor subdistrict. So instead of the setback, being, say, from the street being 10 feet, we would like it to be 25 feet, so it kind of fits with the rest of the street where Hurricanes is and that shopping center. So it kind of all looks nicer, and it's not right on the street, which is one of the things that the community had a problem with. They don't want anything over 2 stories. So although the code says you can build 3, this will be capped at 2. So those are a couple of things, for example, examples of things that were a little bit different.
Anybody else have any comments?
just one.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not a comment, it's an invitation. We have a Greek festival on the 31st, 1st and 2nd. Please attend. That's supposed to be you doing this. It's your community.
Down there?
Yeah,
Okay, please attend.
end of the tent.
Anyone else? I think we'll adjourn then, right?